everybody, welcome to a video on the Constructor Criticism YouTube channel. I'm Spencer, host of Constructor Criticism and Limited Time Only, two podcasts about getting better at Magic the Gathering. Today is Wednesday Night Warrior. It's the day where we get to reflect on the week. We get to talk about whatever we want in Magic the Gathering. It's one of my favorite videos to do. People have come up to me and told me how much they love these videos. It really means a lot to me. I'm going to continue doing them and bring them to you. And today is a topic that I'm really happy that I get to talk about. And that's the Pro Tour. The Pro Tour is a really big deal to me. It's the pinnacle of Magic outside of Worlds. It's the thing that people like me, who are these local grinders, this is the thing that we want to do. This is the thing that we, when we are privileged enough to make it, want to make the most of it. And so watching the PT is a big deal to me. I get to watch my friends who have gotten there, and I get to watch some of the best players in the world battle it out in the game that I love quite a bit. It's the best game in the world, and I feel very lucky to get to watch the best players play it. And this Pro Tour was no exception. In fact, this might be my favorite Pro Tour of all time that I watched. I love the limited format. I loved watching the standard format and what it is today. And what it can be tomorrow, and I'm really excited to get to talk to you about that. And then the other thing we're going to talk about today is a comment made by Paulo Victor Damarosa after his quarterfinals win, where he mulliganed to 5 in his first 3 of his 5-game match. So let's get started with the overall thoughts of the Pro Tour. First of all, go Paulo. Paulo Victor Damarosa, in my mind, has cemented himself as the second best Magic player of all time, at least. Passing Kai, who, no disrespect to Kai, with 7 Pro Tour wins, that's a really big deal. But PV plays in a time where Magic players are better. He has the highest top 8 percentage of any Magic player ever. Paulo has done everything you can ask of him, with 12 Pro Tour top 8s, 2 wins, 17 Grand Prix top 8s with 2 wins. The guy's just a champion. He got his first Player of the Year by winning this Pro Tour, and what more do you need from the guy to just respect him? The guy is insane. He's insane. It was a pleasure to get to watch him, and his finals match versus Amberdy. All of his matches were just great. Something that was really enjoyable. The deck of the tournament was obviously mono red. Being able to come to the gates really fast. A lot of the pros wanted to be proactive in this format. And this was a very proactive deck, and it was one of the decks that our team actually played at the Pro Tour as well. We brought Pummeler and Mono Red to the Pro Tour, and I think that it was the correct choice. I think that if you just look at the numbers, a large portion of people brought it, but they also did well with it. So the deck is a real deck, but it is beatable. When you see a performance like this, people just jump on the bandwagon for bannings. This deck isn't close to being needed to be banned. Whether it's mono black zombies or green black snake decks, there are decks with good matchups with this deck. They just punish you when you stumble, but that's a good thing. I like having that in the format. Having a good aggressive deck in the format is not a bad thing. It keeps people honest about their mana, about the spells that they play, and we want that. That's something that we want in a format. So I think that if you want to beat the deck, it's very beatable. You just have to go after it with the right decks, whether it's those green-black decks or those zombies decks or things like that. And then as the format evolves, there will be decks that try and beat those decks, and then Mono-Red will come back around, however the format will shake out. But it's a really good format, a really fun format, and something that I'm really excited to play. Let's move on from Mono-Red and kind of the decks that beat it into the misplay. Okay. I'm going to do a video talking about some of the conversations that are happening about this. I don't know if it'll be next week or I'll just do another video because it's very hot on my mind how people respond when a mistake is made. Paulo's semifinals opponent drew a card for his turn, noticed that he had the 6 points of burn now that he needed to win the game with his Hazoret in play, attacked with his went to combat with his Hazoret. He only had 2 cards. He had 2 cards in hand, so his Hazoret couldn't attack. And he lost the game because of it. He, lost out on that attack step, which caused him to lose the entire game 2 turns later. And that is a big deal for a few reasons. Somebody's already said how lucky PV was. Some people have said it was scummy of the judge and PV to let this misplay dictate this guy's Magic game. And then there's the awesome response by Rich Hagan. But I think what's important to know is that Magic is a game, and one of the things about this game that's so beautiful is that it has variance, and your job is to play your best, to play better than your opponent, to reduce those variance, to give yourself the best chance to win despite variance. And your opponent misplaying is not variance. That's not Paulo getting lucky. What that is Paulo playing better than his opponent. His opponent made a mistake, and Paulo made arguably less mistakes and was rewarded because of it. And that is beautiful. That's something that we should all be happy exists in Magic, right? It means that even when your opponent draws the thing that they need to draw, if they make a mistake, you can still win. Even when you both have reasonable draws, as long as you play better than your opponent, you still have a chance to win. And that is something that I love and appreciate from Magic the Gathering. Like, that is so cool. And it was so cool to watch. And also, Yam had a great tournament, right? Like, guy is... It might be Yam, by the way, if I'm saying his name wrong. I'm so sorry. But the guy had a great tournament. Going to the semifinals of the Pro Tour. I saw him tweet about his $7,500 Hazoret. I highly recommend him trying to sell that, because I'm sure people will buy it. But it's funny. It's keep that on your wallet, man. I don't know what to do with it, but remind yourself of that and take that as an opportunity to grow, which I'm sure he will. He's already had. I think he already had a top 8 before this, but it was cool to watch. It was cool to see the community's reaction, for the most part, and it was just a fun tournament to watch, and I hope that more Pro Tours have that kind of climax. I don't know if it was the team series, I don't know if it was the player of the year race, I don't know what it was, but it was the most fun I've ever had watching a Magic tournament. So that was a great Pro Tour. Now let's talk about Paulo's comment. So for those who watched it, Paulo was in the top 8 in his first match. He mulliganed to 5 and lost. Game 3, he mulligans to 5 again. And and he wins. He goes ahead. He goes on to win that game, and then the next 2 games to win the match. And after the match, Brian David Marshall interviews him and says, "Paulo, tell me about them. Like, is it hard to take that mulligan to 5 after you just lost those first 2 games on mulligans to 5?" And PV says, "No. It's just about taking ownership of that decision and of the game and of winning." And what he's saying is, he's not just talking about taking ownership of your mistakes or what's in front of you, but not giving it away. So when you make the decision not to mulligan that hand because, I lost the other games, you're actually giving the decision to the game of Magic rather than keeping it for yourself. And that's a problem. This is why so many players have so many problems with mulligan decisions and with variance. They think the game owes them one, or they think that they're destined to be unlucky or destined to be lucky. And that's just not true. Every decision that you make in this game, whether it's what time you go to bed, what time you wake up, the deck list that you submit, or the mulligans that you make before you even play your first land, there are decisions that have to be made in order for you to win a game of Magic. And Paulo took the opportunity to make the correct decision. So often people complain to me about how mulliganing just decreases your chance of winning so much, and that's just not true. Mulliganing increases your chance to win. It gives you the opportunity to increase your chance to win. It gives you the opportunity to go from a 0-land hand that cannot win a game of Magic to a 6-card hand that can win a game of Magic. And that's important. And Paulo recognizes that. Obviously he does, right? He's one of the best players in the world. But you can recognize that too. You can take ownership of your decisions and make the correct ones and be rewarded for it like Paulo was. I was so happy that he said that. It meant a lot to me as I listened to it and I thought about it. And I thought about times in my life, maybe where I wasn't taking ownership of, and I was giving away, the power of my happiness to somebody that was upsetting to me or something like that. But Magic has these little things that can teach you life lessons, and I think this is a big one, and one that we can really accept and utilize to our advantage to be happier, and to be better at Magic, and to be better at your job, and to be better in your marriage, to be better in your relationships, to be better at whatever you want to be, take the opportunity to do this. Take ownership of your decisions. Be the best player, the best spouse, the best partner that you can be. It'll make your life better. And it made PV's tournament better because he won the tournament. He went on to win the tournament after that decision. So that's my reaction to this Pro Tour. It was my favorite Pro Tour ever. It was so great to watch. And yeah, this is Wednesday Night Warrior. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to share the podcast here on the YouTube channel, on twitch.tv/ccmtg. You can go to patreon.com/ccmtg to become a patron of our entire network. Every dollar is really appreciated. It means the world to us. And yeah, that's it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and that like button. Leave a comment. Let me know who you think the best players in the world are, what you thought of this Pro Tour, what you thought of the misplay, and what you thought of Paulo's comments. And we'll see you guys all next week.